well, let's kick off, shall we?
Yes, this is us.
So if you feel moved to, please just pop in the chat where you are from, and a very warm welcome to you all for this. Uh, well, it's going to be an enlightening, revealing, fabulous somatic movement workshop. So I'm very excited. I have worked with Kay. I've known Kay for a few years, and we've done work together, and it's always been fabulous. And I'm very excited for today. So, just a quick background on kind of why you're here, I suppose. Well, you'll know why you're here, but a bit of background to why Kay is running this workshop today. I am a photographer, self-portrait photographer based in Surrey in the UK, and I'm passionate about helping people access their felt sense through therapeutic photography. The felt sense is our intuitive embodied response to any given situation. It's the meaning underneath the feeling, the stuff we don't yet have words for, the not knowing, all the crazy stuff on the edge that Kay loves to participate in. And it helps us bring what's in our subconscious into our conscious. So I'm very much looking forward to experiencing how somatic movement is going to help us do that. Therapeutic photography is the structured use of images with an intended outcome. And we're going to use images today to help us unlock some movement and, you know, what's behind our feelings and just that whole wonderful embodied experience. So I use the felt sense in therapeutic photography in a number of ways. Mindful photography, one-to-one portraiture. I do mentoring, take people on gallery tours, and I run an annual open call, a photographic open call, all based on the felt sense. And that's why we're here today. So the workshops that we've been running, so this is the third of three, the workshops have all been based around using the exhibition from this year to explore ourselves further. So we had mindful photography, which I ran a couple of weeks ago. Nanette, who is here, she's one of my panelists in residence on the open calls. Kay has also been a panelist, and Nanette did some inspired writing, which was extraordinary last week. So, and this is the last one here today. So I'll hand over to Kay now, but we're going to be using the images, moving in response to the images, and well, whatever transpires will be fascinating and fabulous. So Kay, over to you.
We have no idea what's going to happen, do we, Kat? Which is what I love about this. Can I just ask if you have all chosen some favourite images yet? No, no, no. I wonder then, Kat, if you could take us through
Yeah.
the images.
So what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen and we will watch the images on a slideshow. And the invitation is, so you're not going to see the images for very long, just a few seconds. And the invitation is to notice, come out of your head, drop into your body, and notice what you're having a strong response to. And if you can pick, maybe it's two you need, isn't it, Kay? The two,
yeah, two or three.
Two or three images that are really you're having a visceral response to, whatever that might be, something that touches you but you don't know why. If you get that kind of the word is called punctum. It's a specific word to the kind of puncture that you feel when you are having that kind of guttural, visceral response to an image that you're looking at. And some images you may feel absolutely nothing for, and that's completely fine. But notice the ones you're having a strong response to. Have you all downloaded the exhibition guide? You've got.
Right.
I can't see Lucy. Did you nod then, Lucy? Excellent. So you'll have that in front of you to refer back to when we're doing the work with Kay. But I'll just do the slideshow now. So the invitation is to park your likes and dislikes at the door. So this isn't about what you like or what you would usually gravitate towards, because that's very much in your head. This is what your body is responding to. Okay. 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 So, do you want to spend a couple of minutes having a quick look? Quick decide, yeah? Okay. So maybe give us a thumbs up when you.
Yeah, let's just take a minute to sort of reflect on what we saw and maybe look back and make a decision. And by the way, you can change your mind. So as we move through the next hour, if you decide, oh, actually, yeah, that's fine.
You can't get any of this wrong.
Well, I can get it wrong because I'm my worst critic, but okay. Well, the first thing I have to do is close my window because my neighbor's dog is being very noisy. So I'm going to spend, ironically, about 10 minutes talking. And I know that this session is supposed to be about bodily expression, but I just want, for those of you who are not familiar with the research I've been doing on sensory motor intentionality, I'm just going to sum that up a little bit. So about 5 or 6 years ago, I fell down the wormhole of academic research on sensorimotor intentionality, which is the way that pre-birth and as very young babies, we learn to respond through movement. So our first means of communication with others and with ourselves is movement. So the classic thing here is even in utero, and I'll take my own pregnancy as an example of this. If mummy is playing very loud reggae music and you're in utero, the fluid is vibrating and the embryo actually responds. So the embryo is going to do, to do, to do. So somatic movement response starts very, very early on. And then post-birth, the classic one is, ooh, I can smell mummy's milk, so I'm going to turn my head towards mummy's breast and reach with my mouth. So that's before this baby has any idea of those words, but it is responding to senses through movement. And then the reward that it gets, or the response that the baby gets from that, starts to lay down emotional patterns. So rather scarily, a lot of medics have scanned the brains of prenatal and newborn babies. And they have seen that emotional patterns start to build up in this prenatal and very early stage. So babies begin to have emotion before they have words. And when I found this out, I was just, oh, yes, not all emotions can be expressed through words. We have emotion before we have words. This is great. This explains a lot to my crazy mind. So, yes, sensorimotor intentionality. And ever since I learned this, I have been trying to encourage people to go back there, to take the wall of words down and to respond with your body to your senses rather than first of all describing them. And that is what I would like us all to do for the next hour or so when I finally stop rambling on. So sensorimotor intentionality. If anyone would like my PowerPoint presentation and speech on that, just message me afterwards and I will send it to you. So before words was movement and senses. And I'm now going to really embarrass myself even more by reading for you the poem that I wrote about this, which again is massively ironic, isn't it? That here I am saying senses and emotion and movement are so much more important than words, and now I'm going to read a poem. But it's all about the hierarchy of words, which I don't approve of. It's called Choros is the Queen, Lexis is her servant. In the beginning was not the word. I did not thus define the sounds that I heard, nor did I elevate sound and speech over sight, smell, or movement, recoil, or reach. In my unlimited early learning times, I did not differentiate between screams and rhymes. There was no hierarchy of my many senses, top marks not given to your verbal responses. Words are not my power to survive. If I speak to the ocean, will I stay alive? No. My response to the waves is to swim, not to shout. If I fall in the pit, I can't talk myself out. I must climb, reach, and pull, not argue or reason. Can I talk myself warm in an inclement season? No. Faced with this storm, I must lean, turn, take cover, seek secure, solid shelter, perhaps the arms of another. I feel safe in embrace, more than chatter or discourse, sense, motion, emotion, and then the word. Forced in from the outside, this uninvited dictatorial invader, it occupies my supple frame, this movement violator. These words that dominate our world are not the answer. They have become weapons in the war against the dancers, the ones who choose through subtle moves to tell their vital, move beyond words truths. Now, in these urgent elder years, I seek to fulfill that potential I have not yet reached. To return to my newborn, boundless creativity, I will use first movement, feeling, sensitivity. Let words come last. And when even loved ones' names escape me, as they will, as long as movement remains, I am still me. But when my sense, response, and dance are gone, when chorus leaves me, then my time is done. So I read that not only to show off, but to show how, for me, working through sensation movement also comes back to words. So we can come back to words, and we will a couple of times in our time together. There may be times during the next hour or so that you feel uncomfortable. If you're not used to expressing through the body, you may not feel comfortable. And you know what? That's great. But should you want to turn off your camera, that's also great. And it's the great thing about this technology that I do love us being in a room together, but in a room, you can't turn off your camera. And with this technology, you can. So if you just want to turn off your camera and go completely nuts privately, that's absolutely fine. So we are going to do a little bit of a somatic warm-up to get us into the body and shut me up a bit. So the first thing that I'd like us all to do is return to the breath. So can you just, as you sit there, notice your breathing right now? Notice how you're breathing. Don't need to do anything, just notice. And now let's all notice which parts of our body are being moved by the breath. We are not consciously or deliberately moving them, but which parts of our body are being moved by the breath. And if you would like to stand up or lie on the floor or whatever, I would like you to choose one of those parts of your body that is being moved by the breath. And place a hand on that part of your body. And notice how that part of your body is moving your hands. Notice how your noticing is changing how you breathe. And now drop that hand, be as soft and relaxed as you can. Notice another part of your body that is being moved by your breath. And this time, place both hands on that part of your body. And progress to letting your hands participate in the breath. So, whatever that means, perhaps for me, I'm breathing in to my belly and my hands are separating a bit. As I breathe out, my hands are dropping back. So, I'm going to push a little bit with my hands. So, it's an interaction between my belly and my hands. And then let's drop, relax our hands again, relax everything. And think about a part of our body that doesn't seem to be moved by the breath. So, okay, I feel like my thighs are not being moved by my breath. So, find a part of the body that's not being moved by the breath. And as you focus on that part of the body, can you imagine it being moved by the breath? Even if it's something as apparently motionless as the bridge of your nose or the back of your skull. But imagine if that were being moved by your breath, how would it move? And now that's part of your body that you are imagining moving with the breath. You're going to turn that into a real movement, whatever that is. So again, if it was the back of my skull, how would that move if it could respond to my breath? What would I do with my thighs, my toes, if they were responding to my breath? And now let's find another part of the body that doesn't seem to move with the breath. Completely different part of the body that does not seem to move with the breath. How would that part of the body move were it to respond to the breath? You can just imagine that, or you can actually let it move that way. What would my kneecap do if it were to respond to my breath? And now we're just going to open up our eyes, and I'm bringing my fingertips out in front of me. And if you have space, you're going to take your fingertips out. If not, bring them closer. Take the fingertips out, leaving your gaze nice and soft in front of you until you can't see those fingertips anymore, till they disappear. Keep that nice soft gaze. Drop your arms. With the soft gaze, notice something in your space that is interesting to you in the way it would be for a puppy or a squirrel or a baby. Something random, maybe it's shiny, maybe it's squishy, maybe it's colorful. Notice something in your space around you and mindfully move towards it. Not going to give you any more instruction, but find that thing and move mindfully towards it. Perhaps interact with it. Perhaps play with what part of your body interacts. So what we have learned to interact with our fingertips. What happens if I interact with it with my tummy, with my cheek? What happens if I interact with this interesting thing in an unexpected way? And then, in true squirrel or baby style, allow yourself to be distracted by something else. And how do you want to move towards that something else? What is your body habitually saying? And how can you break that habit? I want to move towards this thing, but I'm going to do it in a different way. And then make your way back to where you began. Don't have to sit down, you can stay standing because we're going to do just a couple more prenatal and baby moves. So, what this is all about is helping us to expand our movement palette before we go into responding to our images. There are some wonderful descriptions of the way that prenatal embryos and babies move. Two of the ones I love are startles and twitches. And it doesn't matter if you don't know what a startle is or a twitch, or what the difference between a startle and a twitch is. But I would just like you, wherever you are, whether you want to stand or lie or whatever, do a startle. What's a startle? Oh, you don't have to remember your exact startle, but from the startle, the baby moves into what is known as primitive motor babbling. Primitive motor babbling is the somatic equivalent of Donald Trump or Boris Johnson giving a speech. So it's a sort of disconnected set of complete rubbish. And that's what we're going to do. So, again, if you want to turn off your camera, fine. But we're all going to start from our startle and then just sort of keep going and see where the startle takes us. And yes, use the word primitive motor babbling to inspire you if you want to, but start from your startle. Or maybe look at the screen and start from someone else's startle. And then continue, go where the startle takes you in your primitive motor babbling, and be liberated by the fact that this is not performance, this is expression. Nobody gives a stuff what we look like. And in your last minute of primitive motor babbling, I'd like you to notice what move you really like. What brings you joy from your gut, from your heart? Which of these movements that I'm doing here, which are steady and pointers, which do I actually like? And that's what we're going to call an isolated movement. And I'd like you to do your isolated movement, the one you really like, over and over again for a minute. And if you're not laughing or crying yet, so I hope you do later. Oh my goodness, I love this. We're going to do one more thing before we go off and have a little time on our own with our images. And that is to change the level of where we are in the room. So uh, if you're kind of flexible enough and comfortable with this, I'd like you to find your way down onto the floor and back up again. If you'd rather just sit on your chair and come back up again, that's absolutely fine. But you're going to do this 3 times in 3 different ways. So you're going to go down to the floor or down onto your chair and up again 3 times in 3 different ways. Okay, we're going to give you 10 minutes of alone time with cameras off. So, what I'd like you to do in your 10 minutes is take your 2 or 3 images that evoke the strongest somatic response in you, the strongest felt response in you, and find a somatic response to that felt response. So you've got 10 minutes with 2, possibly 3 images, and you're going to move in response to how that image has you feeling. And perhaps also you'd like to link the 2 together or the 3 together. So you're going to find your movement response to one, and then your movement response to the other. And maybe there is a journey from one to the other. And you will not have to show these to everyone else, but if you want to, you can. So cameras off, mics off, and 10 minutes. Message me in the chat if you need anything. We're going to come back together in 1 minute. So, one thing I want to say is that if you felt that that 10 minutes was one hell of a long time, that's the point that we are stretching ourselves outside our comfort zone. So, if you're thinking, oh shit, when is she going to come back? Then that is the point. If you felt like it flew by, then I'm sorry, but you will have some time to do some more very soon. But also, I'm going to just take 30 seconds of silence for you to reflect on if it felt like a very long time, what did you achieve by spending too long doing it? And if you poured yourself a glass of wine or made a cup of tea, that's quite valid. But what did you achieve by spending too long doing that? Okay, let's have a little debrief on what you just did. So, what I'd love you all to do, if you'd like to, is one by one, first of all, express with your body and then perhaps a few words on what that 10 minutes was like for you. So, give us a move, a startle, a, a babble, whatever, and then tell us a little bit about how that felt.
Shall I jump in?
You can, Ange, thank you.
Um, I'm not going to move too much because I started doing it, and I noted like how different my movements were from each image, and that was really interesting. But I started to feel really hot and a bit dizzy, so I stopped. And I'm glad I stopped because I wasn't getting anything out of feeling sick and dizzy. But I want to try and do it some other time. So I tried something different. It might be it's just really hot in my flat. And so we could try it again.
Wow. Okay. Is that something that happens to you a lot, or do you think it was?
No, it's not. And I don't know if it's because I've not eaten enough today or something. There might be a reason. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah. I was like, oh, that's but for me there was something really physical, like not only the feeling a bit nauseous and a bit lightheaded, but something really physical in that kind of feeling, because I was very calm as well, and just yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Ange. Cool.
I'm happy to go next.
Thank you, Nana.
I felt very in flow, I would say, between my images. It was interesting, like at the very beginning, I almost like ordered my images. Like I knew which image was the most kind of like uh most, I don't even know what the word is, inside, um and then I knew the one that was kind of more like coming out of that, and then the one that was here. And I ordered them in my head, and then I just kind of like, I wouldn't say flowed through because I started on the floor, and it's not really easy for me to get up off the floor. But I started on the floor and then kind of came midway and then came all the way up, and it just felt like the three images just, and I hadn't made those connections to these images before this, but it was like this, almost like this automatic thing that I like ordered them in my head from like lower to higher, like physically, I guess. I'm not explaining it very well.
There, of course, Nanette, it is the nature of this workshop that we go, I'm not explaining it very well because my words aren't working. But what you just did when you went this and like this, for me, that explained it. So thank you. Thank you very much.
And it felt like a very long time. I think I did the three motion for the three of them a couple times. And then I just sort of sat and I guess reflected on the images and why they made me want to be in those particular positions. But yeah, the 10 minutes felt very, very long.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm such a bitch. Thank you, Nanette.
Thank you.
I can go. So I wasn't actually sure which pictures I was gonna do, and then they just like appeared. And so the first two, one felt like desperation, and then the other felt like some sort of like, oh, I've like landed, and the movements were the same, but one I was on my front doing this movement, and then the second time I was just like lying on the floor doing this movement. So there was this like mirror, like the same movement but in a different position with a different view. And then there was this sort of going from the ground, standing up, which was the green, and it was just like, oh. And then I looked, and I was just like, I was looking at the garden, it was green. I was like, oh, there's the picture.
Did it feel like a long time to you as well, Lucy?
No, I could have gone on and on. I was like, this is just so simple. Why don't I do this? I could just do this every day for 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah. I do love this thing about how time is relative. Someone's age is another person's split second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you.
I can go next. All right, let's see.
Thank you, Paul.
I'm aware that in listening to the three of you who've shared already, my mind is making so many more links and connections than I had, and I don't know if I can go back to how it was when I just did it because I'm seeing some other parts of me are waking up about now that we're talking about it and reflecting on it, and um, when you were talking, Nanette, about the sequencing, I'm now having all these like, oh wow, I think there's a whole thing going on there that I hadn't even thought about the fact that the first one was sort of like out in a larger world, and the next one was kind of in a medium-sized world, and the next one was like in a really, really tiny, tiny world. And yet my movements kind of weren't just reflecting that. I was doing movements that were sometimes quite the opposite, and um, loving how each image was both a visual response and then somehow also a personal response. And that felt very different per image. And I'm only now thinking about that. I was just doing it at the time. Um, and feeling grateful that I had those different parts of me woken up by just leaning into it initially visually and somatically, which is of course includes affect and psychology in some way and history and all that stuff. So, um, and I also did not fill the whole 10 minutes with staying with the official sort of assignment and was grateful to just, I didn't break the frame of I am doing something now that's just about me and my body. So I didn't like go get coffee or something. And so I think it was really powerful for me to have started with something that was more directed from external to then just stay. Okay, well, she'll call me 10 minutes when it's up. But then I got to still just be with my body however I am this morning. And I really appreciated that.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for bringing in so eloquently the topic which is so important to me, which is what if we were to respond in a different order of hierarchy? So instead of first responding with words, what if we were to respond first with the body, or respond first with a weird noise, or a song with no words? So yes, thank you for bringing that in. Kat, would you like to be a participant or would you rather not?
No, I will. That's fine. I could move my chair, but my dog's there.
The dog can be a participant as well.
No, that was very like. No, she can't. She does the movement thing all the time. Anyway. That's better. I found linking my two movements together just like they were meant to be together. It was amazing, and it felt very fluid and natural. What I noticed for the benefit for me of the 10 minutes was initially it was like 10 minutes. About halfway through, I was like, how long? How much longer? And then I just kept doing the movement, and it was so interesting how the movement changed. Not so much in what I was doing, but the size of the movement that I was making. So it got bigger, and I got more kind of, I suppose, confident in the movement as I felt I was knowing it more deeply. So that was really interesting. And then I had this beat in my head as I was moving. So I was moving in time to this beat, and the beat was created from the movement. So it was like a both movements had that same kind of beat to it. So it was fascinating, and as Paul said, what a joy to be able to just sit in whatever this is, this magic, this wizardry that you have created. It's incredible, really peaceful and present and calm, and it's wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. You started this whole thing. So we are now going to play together a little bit I think we'll do it in pairs. And some of you have already done fast food choreography with me on other projects. I think, Lucy, perhaps you have, Paul, you certainly have. In fast food choreography, what we do is we look at another mover's move and we, first of all, copy it. So, Kat, do a move for me and I'll copy you. Your mic is off, but it doesn't matter.
Sorry. Any move or one of my moves?
No, any old move.
I'm going to do sitting. That, seeing as that's what my body wanted to do.
So I'm going to do cat.
Did I have that face?
That's a very good point. No, it was much more. So now I'm going to do a move and you're going to copy it, all right? Great. So now I think I've got your move. I'm pretty sure you've got mine. So now we're going to put them together. So let's go. Let's go yours first. Are we ready? And again.
I thought you did that twice. Did you not?
Oh, probably, you see. So that's what you're going to do. You are going to split into pairs and you're going to show each other your moves that you just made. However, if in the few minutes that you've had off, that move has changed completely, it doesn't matter. You know, this is not actually a rehearsal for a West End musical. This is play. So if you decide to do something completely different, then do it. So what we would like you to do is share your images first, show each other which images you worked off, share your moves, teach the other one your move, then put your moves together. And in about maybe 10 minutes, we will come back together. And if you'd like to show us what you've done, great. But if you'd rather just talk about what you've done, fine. Or if you'd rather just go and have a glass of wine, I keep saying that, fine. So is everyone clear about what you're going to do? Show the picture, show the move, learn the other's move, link the two moves together. Or the
So just select one move from one picture.
Sorry, no, do both. So you'll do a Paul's move, someone else's move, and then you do Paul move 2, other person's move 2, and then you will link all 4 of them together.
Got it. Okay.
Or even, God forbid, 6 if you have 3 that you want to do. And of course, it's not a test. So when you come back, if it's a complete shambles, that is the best thing that could possibly happen. So, Kat, can I ask you to put people into pairs? Yeah. And as always, we'll do 10 minutes again, I think.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll try and give you a 1-minute warning if I can work out how to do it. Okay.
And again, message us in the chat if you have any issues or questions.
Do you want, sorry, is it 10 minutes or 15?
Let's do 10. I know it says 15 on our very precise program, but let's go for 10.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Excellent.
Excellent. Do you want to play or do you want to chat?
No, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, I had 2 I had two moves.
What are your images?
Oh, yes. Oh, you're right, Paul.
What's up, Paul?
No idea why I'm here.
Oh,
I don't know what happened.
Kat, did you do two groups?
Oh, I've just put you in. No, don't join that. Don't join that.
Don't join that.
Right.
Join room one.
Um, any good? Oh, here we go. Yeah, right, he's there. Yeah, he's there. Excellent. So my image was the first one, which is
Oh, he's back again. Sorry, Paul.
So there's a screen that pops up that blocks my view of looking at my partner. And so when I make that screen go away by clicking the X, it brings me back here. I'm going to try it one more time and I'll click on got it instead of the little X. And hopefully that'll keep me there.
okay.
Yeah.
Have you got the join room one?
It's a Zoom thing. It's a Zoom thing.
Wait, don't click on that. Okay, click on room one.
All right, good. I'll keep our fingers crossed.
Good luck. Right, so we did does it this time. Okay, so oh, so that's my first image,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and my second. Do you want to see my second one or not?
Yeah, let's.
And that's my second one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, got you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my first one is, and I repeat them both. So I have my right foot goes first on the first one, and my left foot goes first on the second one. And there's a kind of a heavy thud on the first one. That's my first movement, and my second one is not dissimilar, but reverse right. So yeah.
We've got a message. Oh, no, we haven't. Sorry. No.
Okay.
Is that the second one?
Yeah. Like so it's kind of lifting from the shoulders and then sort of falling forward. Yeah.
Hey, lovely. Show me the first one again. Left. Lovely. Oh, there's something really nice about that.
Okay. Did you get yours?
Yes. So my two images. The first one was the person looking up at the tree.
Yeah.
And my move for that one, so the person looking at the tree was
Okay.
and the other one was the twig on the wrist.
Yeah.
And that one was.
I'm struggling to get that to do this. So it's like that,
So it's
and then
up to the face. And twist. So sliding the hands up to the face. Look out.
can I just do it?
Yeah. I love watching other people do what I've. Oh, yes. Yeah. Love it.
We do it. So, did you just do it once?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But both of them were just once, but we can do them as many times as we like. I'm just thinking about what order to put them together in.
Should we just do them in the order that they are anyway?
Okay. Yeah.
See. Okay, so the first one was. Let's just do mine once, else it'll get too complicated. So, oh no, that wasn't it, was it? Was that it? Was that yours?
So my first one is, yeah.
Is your palm out like that or like that?
Going up, I'm a child grabbing a grown-up's hand.
Ah, nice. Okay.
This is very hard to do on a screen.
Mm. And then the next one is,
You.
and then, oh, well, that really goes nicely into
Lovely.
that. Oh, yeah, how great's this?
I love this. How are we doing for time?
We got 2 minutes, but then there's going to be 30 seconds after it finishes. So, start.
So, we're starting with yours.
Should we do it one more time?
One more time. Yeah.
Yay! How sexy are we?
So the first 10 minutes was way too long, and the second 10 minutes was way too short.
No, I didn't think the first 10 minutes was too long at all. I think what I liked about that is repeating the movement and seeing how it developed.
Yeah, that's one of the points of doing it for so long. Yes. Shall we give them a minute's warning, or is it time?
30 seconds. Yeah, there we go. They've got 30 seconds now. So, and they know. Oh.
Nanette's back.
Hey.
Were you two together, Nanette and Lucy?
Yes.
So it was Ange and Paul. Great.
say, Nanette, you look like a different person.
Nice Rose. Oh, there you are.
You look like, I don't know. You look not lighter.
Me?
Yes, you look even more beautiful than did when you went in the room.
Oh, thank you.
I think what that's done for you. Well, what I can see.
Yeah, I think I got out of my head and into my body.
That's what I'm
Great.
here for, Nanette.
It was wonderful.
It's also, I just want to say to everyone else, because Nanette led us on the last session, and so she was in very responsible Auntie Nanette modes, and it's just so lovely to see you now in playful mode. And
Oh,
it was a lovely, lovely session, but you were being very caring and holding us all, so it's good to see you.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Uh, okay, so would any of the pairs like to just show us what they did with no introduction or words or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, looks like Paul and Ange are going to do something. Cool.
Oh, I can't see Paul, so let me find Paul.
Okay, you can just do your thing.
Just so that, yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That was great.
I love it. I'm so tempted to guess whose was whose, but I'm not going to do that.
It was so much fun.
It
We,
was.
will
I enjoyed that very much, Ange.
we'll come back to chat a little bit about the process. Can you just tell us before we move on to Nanette and Lucy what your images were, and you can just describe them to us.
So mine was the tent in the forest, and then the human and the bird.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And mine was the open door with the pattern of light on the wall and the wall with the mirror, and inside of that, a little figure.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you so much, you two. That was so fun. Um, well, Nanette and Lucy, would you like to go?
We'll give it a whirl. Whew.
Oh, thank you so much. How lovely. And what were your images?
So we both had the same starting image.
I love it when that happens. Yes.
Which was the woman who was wet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Nanette?
And then my second image was the peacock in the sunshine. And my third image was the cottage in the sky.
And my second one was the skylight.
Mm.
And then the third one was the green landscape. Yeah.
Very cool. Kat, should we do ours or shall we remain teachery?
No, that would be really rude. Did we do the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I had the big tree and the person looking up at the tree and the twig on the wrist.
Mm.
Kat, you had?
The house in the sky, the first image, and then I had the black and white of lady where you can see from like neck down to about mid thigh, and it's kind of blurry and out of focus, and she's holding something.
Yeah. So we are unbelievably 7 minutes away from wrapping up. I always do this thing where like, oh, it's just, I'm not going to have enough stuff, and suddenly, oh my God, it's 7 minutes. So if anyone would like to share a few closing thoughts, reflections, let's just take a few seconds of silence, shall we, before we do that? So we'll just calm and breathe and notice the breath. And so if anyone has anything that they'd like to share, any thoughts or even movements that you'd like to share, then.
I find it really fascinating that I'm a very words person. I process a lot by talking. So taking the words out just gives a totally different perspective. I still have the great love for the words. Some of them are still in my head, but I think a lot of them weren't. And I was really going just with what I felt like doing. And I know that I really enjoy that sort of thing. If we're talking about like dancing, then for me, it's all about what I want to do because I'm not very coordinated. So that like I felt like it was really easy to lean into that side of things. And I also loved that we did some work together and working with Paul really made me think about how we connect as humans, and how easy it is to make those slightly deeper connections with people in a small amount of time by doing something quite simple without the conversation. I mean, we talked about what we were doing, but it was more about the movement. No. So yeah. Thank you. I've really enjoyed this.
Gosh, thank you, Angela. That was so insightful. Lovely.
I'd like to say something. What keeps coming up for me is vulnerability. And I feel like at the beginning, there had to be, you know, you you and Kat provided the space for us to be able to be vulnerable, but the movement felt much more vulnerable to me than even having my picture taken or having my words, spoken or read. It felt very, very vulnerable. And I think working with Lucy, that was my thing. It was like all of a sudden, I got down on the floor and like wiggled around, right? Like, I mean, I love the connection too, like Ange said, the connection that we made with each other in a very vulnerable way in a very short period of time. And I think it's a missing piece of the work that I do. I do portrait work where I have people do lots of writing and in-depth, writing, and then we use that writing to create portraits that are, I think, hopefully the most authentic they can be from the writing that they have done. And but we don't move. We don't move much. And it feels like that is a missing piece now that I've experienced it, Kay. So I want to think about that some more. I love that. And I'm thrilled that in a 90-minute period, I feel like I've been exposed to something vulnerable, but really important.
I'm feeling grateful for time with my body, bouncing off of some, I'm just going to say beautiful imagery, um, feeling held in a series of nested containers of vision between your larger project, Kat, and Kay, how you've nested in that to focus on movement today. Um, and I want you to remind me of that phrase, after the startle, there's movement, but it's not pragmatic. What is that phrase?
Primitive motor babbling.
I want to remember that primitive motor babbling is something that I can do as just like a reground in availability and physicality and in the moment and not like, how do I have to make all this stuff happen? That feels really, ironically, very pragmatically useful for me in my life.
Primitive motor babbling.
I love that regrounding in availability, Paul. Thank you for that. I'm going to think about that. I just like absolutely love being in these sort of spaces. Like I go to Feldenkrais and I love my Feldenkrais, but I haven't been for quite a few months. And I feel so alive when I do this work, and yet I just don't make the space to do it very often. And find myself in the heady, wordy world and maybe not bringing in like the physicality as much. And then I'm just like, oh my God, this is the thing. And it was so like I had so many really visceral reactions to your pictures. And I was like, I don't know which one to choose. I just felt my whole body was like going. And yeah, so just interesting to like listen in that way. And I guess like I work quite a lot of constellation, so it feels sort of related because that's very embodied, and that the responses to the photographs felt sort of similar to the responses I have during a constellation. But yeah, just lovely to have a space. So thank you so much. And really, yeah, Really brilliant.
Thank you, Lucy. I keep doing this, so Paul and I are familiar with this. It's called polishing the pearl. So when someone says something that you love, you polish the pearl. So thank you to all of you so much. Yeah, I can't imagine a better group of people to come together to do this evening or this morning, depending on where you are, this afternoon. Can I just say that when Ange says she's not very well coordinated, Ange and I are occasionally at the same gigs and we both dance like maniacs, and she is the most coordinated maniac I have ever danced with.
Maybe it's only in those situations, because like if you've seen the number of things I've broken accidentally lately, you would not call me coordinated.
So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I'm really looking forward to listening and watching back to the recording, actually. Kat, do you have extra things you would like to say before we close?
Well, just thank you to you, Kay, for such a beautiful session, and to all of you for coming. It is a lovely group of people, and I felt this has been really special, and I will remember it for a very long time.